Well, that didn't take long. I speak of new White House Communications Director Anthony Scaramucci, who made the first week on his job the greatest week on his job ever. Yep, I always say if you're going to make mistakes at work, get them out of the way right away. Then everything else looks awesome from there. It's what I did. It's true. Look at the first week of Red Eye. Scaramucci took shots at coworkers, calling Ryan's Priebus an effing paranoid schizophrenic. Anyway, and suggesting Steve Bannon was only out for himself. He said something else, but I want my job on Monday. Scaramucci also threatened to fire staffers who leaked to the press, but he later tweeted an apology. I sometimes use colorful language. I will refrain in this arena, but not give up the passionate fight for Donald Trump's agenda, MAGA. He also tweeted that he made a mistake of trusting a reporter. Tell me about it. I'll never forget when I shared this photo with Jake Tapper. Nice, huh? Yep. That ended up everywhere. Thanks, Jake. But if it's really about leaking, maybe there's a product that could stop the flow in one shot.
Do you have trouble getting through the night without getting up to call a journalist? Do you make frequent trips to rendezvous with reporters? You could be suffering from informational incontinence.
I can't go to meetings, I can barely travel, and forget going to the movies.
Well, now there's hope with Cork It All. Cork It All works by inhibiting the urges to disclose private information, giving you the ability to keep your mouth shut about important
Cork It All helped me to stop leaking all over Washington, D.C.
Cork It All? It's like a reverse catheter for your thoughts.
And Cork It All is now available in an easy-to-use oral application. So ask your doctor about Cork It All today. Side effects may include self-control and honoring of loyalty pledges.
Nice. All right. So, Kat, Mooch, his language is saltier than a sailor's underpants. Something tells me you probably find that refreshing.
I now know that I can be a White House communications director someday. Absolutely. I think that Trump maybe loved this.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because maybe he thought the exact same things about Priebus, but he couldn't say it because people would say it wasn't presidential. Maybe he told him to do it.
You believe that Trump restrains himself because he thinks that people might think.
I think that it's an interesting theory. I think that he never did anything this Banana Land. This was like Banana Land plus.
Well, here on planet Earth, he's Banana Land plus a lot. I think. I'm not sure it was a good week for
Scaramucci. I find it that he's a novice and he's allowed to make a few mistakes. I want to have a honeymoon. I had a honeymoon when I first got this job here. I made a lot of mistakes, right? Kind of.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I agree about the mistakes part. He doesn't deserve a honeymoon. He's the White House communications director, and he calls up a reporter to leak to the reporter, and then claims about people leaking, and then says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have called up that reporter." That's fine if you're like the Secretary of Interior. He's the White House communications director.
And
this
isn't
is a
that
problem.
hilarious?
Right.
This is what you call, all right.
Yeah.
This is what you call true transparency, Morgan, right?
Anthony is a very good friend of mine. If he's watching, I love you, Anthony. And
well, wait a second. Should that matter? Because shouldn't you? Are you?
She's setting him up.
Yeah.
Okay. Irish and tall, and you're a good speaker. However,
that's true. I got to you before you said but.
No, there's no buts. I think that Anthony really loves this president. I think that he's new to the job. He made a mistake. I think he's going to be very disciplined going out. And the one thing that Ryan Lizza said in the piece that we should all pay attention to is Ryan Lizza said that Anthony is the only White House official who he's never heard talk bad about Trump. So clearly, what does that say about most of the people in the White House that are leaking off the record and saying bad things about the president?
We've all heard him say something bad about Trump.
I want to ask you this because you know him.
I think he went off the record.
When did he change?
Whenever Trump got the nomination.
Oh,
and he went all in.
Yeah.
Anthony raised a ton of money. He went on television for the president. He was for Jeb in the primary, and then when he got when he won the nomination, he said, "I want a Republican president. I don't want Hillary." So good for Anthony.
All right, Tyrus. I believe that foul language is everybody gets upset about foul language. Oh, not in front of the children. I'm like, why are kids so special? Anyway, hear me out on this. Hear me out.
Go. I concede my talking point to hear this.
No,
the letters are going to be coming.
Foul language.
Yes, go ahead.
Foul language reduces the risk of violence because it's a release valve for aggression. So the more you swear, like if you stubbed your toe and you weren't allowed to swear, you would end up hitting something. But swearing gives you the release valve so that you go, ah!
Couldn't you just go, blah?
No, because people think you're insane.
Stub my toe and look at your wife like I hate you. Because that's what happens. It's who's ever in, at least in my world, I lose my car keys, bang my head, which is often whoever's in my zone is going to get some verbal thing that I wish as soon as it came out, I'd be like, I was just, I didn't mean that.
You should just spend a lot of time outdoors.
You could also be the White House communications director.
I'm pumped. I don't have a problem with anything he said. I personally live in a little bubble where if you come in my bubble and I don't like you, I tell you.
Yeah.
So if I think somebody's talking trash or I think somebody's not doing what they're going to do and I'm in charge, I'm act a fool.
Yeah.
Until Greg goes, Tyrus, you're sidekick, not side host. And I'm like, oh, sorry, dog. Sorry.
I think that Trump is replacing the cast of Happy Days with the cast of
Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead, yes. That was a better punchline than I had.
See what happens when we all work together.
That's true. All right, raspy voice. Up next, the title.
Cuss him out. No, that's your spot. He called you raspy voice. Now tell him that.
No, I'd rather play the victim. I think it works better for me.
All right, the title of Hillary Clinton's new book has been announced, and we pretend to care.